Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tip. My name is Julian, and this is the injury report for week 20 of the fantasy hockey season. Before we get started for this video, guys, please leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. And be sure to follow me on Twitter at Fantasy Tip. I'm always posting there to help you guys out even more for your fantasy teams. We've just hit 3,000 subscribers, so I'm super excited. So I'd like to thank everybody for all of your support. I really do appreciate all of the support. And without further ado, let's jump right into the injury report. And we're going to do this alphabetically by team. So the first guys on my list are Ryan Getzlaf and John Gibson. Getzlaf is dealing with a lower body injury and Gibson is dealing with an upper body injury. Unfortunately, Anaheim isn't really releasing a whole lot about these injuries, so hopefully they're not too serious. I guess we can assume they're not too serious, otherwise they probably would have told us, yeah, he's going to be out for a while. So hopefully Getzlaf and Gibson could be back as soon as tonight, but that remains to be seen. Then I have Frederik Andersen and Tony DeAngelo of the Carolina Hurricanes. According to coach Rod Brind'Amour, Frederik Andersen isn't dealing with anything too serious, so I wouldn't expect him out too long. Honestly, I could see him even being back for Carolina's game on Thursday night. And DeAngelo, on the other hand, he won't be ready for at least a couple of weeks or so plan accordingly. Then I have Bowen Byram of the Colorado Avalanche, and he's skating on his own, which is a good sign, but he pulled himself away from the team because of concussion symptoms, and that's a really scary thing. So there is a good chance that he may not play the rest of the season if he's too scared to, get in with contact again. So Bowen Byram, to me, unless you're in a dynasty league, is a drop. Pretty easy drop at that. Then I have Joonas Korpisalo, and he was activated from injured reserve, and he served as the backup last night on Monday night. So Korpisalo, he's not going to get a whole lot of starts. Merzlikins is the starter in Columbus, but if you need the backup, it's not Berube anymore, it's Korpisalo. Then I have Adam Boqvist, and he's dealing with a UBI, and he's eligible to be activated from IR at any time. There's not a whole lot more details regarding this, but he could potentially return as soon as next game for Columbus, but we really don't know. Then Miro Heiskanen is sick and probably will play tonight. Then I have Jakub Vrana, who is not cleared yet, but he's getting close. He's skating on the second line right now with Pius Suter and Robbie Fabry, so he could maybe even be making his debut tonight just because he is skating on that second line. So if he does get cleared in time for the game tonight, he could return tonight, which is really exciting. Moving on to the crazy amount of Oilers injuries now, and first is Mike Smith, and he's just sick, so he could be back as soon as next game, but Mikko Koskinen is a starter in Edmonton anyway, so I'm not overly concerned about Mike Smith anyway. And I have Tyson Barrie, who was placed on IR with a UBI and could be back for Saturday's game against Tampa Bay, which would fit into the 7 to 10 day timeline he was given when he first got the injury. So I'm expecting Barrie back on Saturday, if not, probably for their next game. Then I have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who's week to week with an upper body injury. The Nuge, unfortunately, I'm not expecting him back for at least another couple of weeks because of that. Then I have Jesse Puljujarvi, the pool party, and he was given a 3 to 4 week timeline on February 18. So the earliest he could return based on that timeline would be this Saturday. I haven't seen any status updates on Puljujarvi, so I don't think he will be coming back this Saturday. However, he could be definitely coming back closer to next Saturday if that timetable is still accurate, so Pool Party could be back in your lineup pretty soon. Then I have Evan Bouchard, who missed Monday night's game because he was sick. Again, it's an illness. I'm not overly concerned. He'll probably play next game. Then I have Victor Arvidsson of the Los Angeles Kings. There's absolutely no info on how severe his injury is, but I don't think it's overly severe. It seems to be a minor thing, so I don't expect him to miss too much time. Then I have Jordan Greenway, who actually was activated from IR, so he's good to go and should resume his spot on that line with Marcus Foligno and Joel Eriksson Ek. Then I have Jonathan Drouin, who's still out indefinitely with a wrist injury, but he's skating now, so that's definitely a really good sign for Drouin. Potentially could be back in a few weeks, but we'll have to see. Then I have Christian Dvorak, who's rejoining the team in Vancouver for a no-contact practice. So he's not quite ready yet to return, considering he's not taking contact. But Dvorak, I think he's dealing with a concussion, so we're gonna have to wait and see how long it really takes. Because I thought he was gonna be back a few weeks ago. It looked like he was gonna be good to go, and then he's been held out for a few weeks now. So obviously concussions are no laughing matter, and you got to take them very seriously. And as long as it takes is as long as it takes, unfortunately. And then I have all three Montreal goalies: Andrew Hammond, Jake Allen, Carey Price, and Hammond was placed on IR, so he's gonna miss Wednesday's game against Vancouver at the very least. And beyond that, we'll have to see. Next is Jake Allen, who's also joining the team in Vancouver, and he's practicing now, which is a really good sign. He practiced in Vancouver, and he's not wearing a non-contact jersey, so, I mean, goalies don't really take a lot of contact anyway, but the fact that he's practicing is a really good sign. I don't think he plays on Wednesday night, but he could be making his return really shortly. Then I have Carey Price, who's skating again, which is a good sign. He didn't skate for the entire second half of February, so obviously this is a good progress, but whether he'll even play this year remains to be seen. I don't think Montreal wants to risk anything if he's not 100% ready. And then I have Mackenzie Blackwood, who's back on IR with a heel injury that seems to have reflared up. He had that same injury at the beginning of the season, so that's really concerning that that injury is still lingering. So I think the Devils are going to be really patient and really cautious with him, especially since they're not a playoff team this year anyway. So I think they're really going to take their time with him, and potentially he could miss the rest of the season, but obviously there's still a chance that he's going to return. Then I have Matthew Barzal, who's day-to-day with an injury, and he's been a game-time decision for a few games now, so I don't think it's overly serious. It was labeled as day-to-day, so he should be back any day. Now, don't be too worried about Matthew Barzal's injury. Then I have Kaapo Kakko, who's still a few weeks away from returning, reportedly, and he's supposed to return somewhere close to the NHL trade deadline, which is March 21st, so don't expect him back until then. Then I have Drake Batherson, and he was supposed to miss 2 months with an ankle sprain, and that was on January 28th that was reported, so he should also be back towards the end of March. Then I have Matt Murray, and he's on IR again for what seems like the 100th time this season. He's out indefinitely, so he's a pretty easy drop, honestly, because he just can't stay healthy, unfortunately. I really like the player, but he just can't stay healthy. Then Ryan Ellis, there's absolutely no information on him. 3 or 4 weeks ago, they said in 2 weeks they'll know whether he's going to play this season or not, and they still haven't announced anything, which is really frustrating. So Ryan Ellis, I don't think is going to play this season. I think it's too risky. I don't think they want to risk anything, re-injuring or anything like that. And then I have Erik Karlsson, and the Sharks were originally hopeful to have him back by the end of March, and that was just a hopeful thing. I'm not sure they thought that was actually going to happen. But crazy news, he could be back this Thursday. He recovered way faster than expected, and Erik Karlsson could be in your lineup this week, which is absolutely crazy. So really good news for you Erik Karlsson owners. Then I have James Reimer, who's week to week with a lower body injury, so don't expect him back anytime soon. Then Adin Hill, the other goalie in San Jose, is practicing and could potentially be back this week, maybe as soon as their next game on Thursday. If Adin Hill isn't back on Thursday, Zach Sawchenko should get all the starts in San Jose until Hill does return. Then I have Mario Ferraro, who had leg surgery, so he's out another 5 to 7 weeks, and right now is a pretty easy drop. Then I have Jake Muzzin, who has a concussion and is out indefinitely. Who knows if he'll even play the rest of the year. They want to be really careful with him because he has a history now, and it's not good. And I have Rasmus Sandin as his replacement because he does get to play PP2. I know Sandin right now is sick, but he should be back as soon as next game for the Leafs, so don't worry too much about Sandin's sickness. Then I have Alec Martinez, who's practicing with the team on the 4th defensive pairing, so he's not ready just yet, but he could be really, really close. Then I have Mark Stone, who was placed on LTIR on February 14th, so he's eligible to come back late March. But honestly, I don't think he plays for the rest of the season because Vegas doesn't even have the cap space, so I think they're going to pull a Kucherov and just keep him out until the playoffs. So if you own Mark Stone, I'm not dropping him because there definitely is a chance that he'll return, but I'm not super optimistic. Then I have Braden McNabb, and there's absolutely no info on his arm injury right now, so until we know more, I don't know how long he's going to be out at all. I don't know if it's day to day, I don't know if it's week to week. Until then, guys, Zach Whitecloud is a decent replacement, does the same kind of things, hits and blocks. And then Cole Perfetti was shifted to LTIR recently, and he will probably miss at least another couple weeks. Until then, guys, Paul Stastny does get to play on the top line with Wheeler and Scheifele, so he's not a terrible ad if you want a Winnipeg Jet. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. Please leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.